Hello again, Struck Quap. Here I am with another Diablo IV Season of Blood / Season 2 info video. As I've said already in my previous two such videos, I'm making a series of Season 2 info videos that cover certain areas of the season. And since there's so much information that was recently revealed about that, I had to split it into multiple videos. This one is dedicated to the Blood Harvest Season event and the things that are intertwined with it, such as the new consumables, new world events, and so on. First of all, let's give you a brief introduction of the season, and then we can move on to the important matters. Stepping out from the shadows that once obscured them, the Dark Master's Bloodseekers swoop in to prey upon the unsuspecting mortals. Their ravenous appetites have grown. The season of blood will soon ooze throughout Sanctuary. Diablo 4 second season begins on October 17 at 10 in the morning AM Pacific time. There to look Fang destruction in the face and send it back to hell with a new season journey, questline, season event, deadly blood-driven enemies, battle pass, and more. Plus, new Uber endgame bosses have arrived in Sanctuary to increase the variety of endgame activities in Diablo 4. These havoc-wreaking bosses are hard to topple but can drop unique items and cosmetics found nowhere else. So this is a summary of what season is about. Next, we'll be talking about all things Blood Harvest related. So buckle up, Struck Quap, and let's go. I think it's only befitting if we start with an overview of what the Blood Harvest event is. In a few words, it's a large-scale open-world event, similar to Helltides. In a moment, we will speak about what the differences are, but let's just give you a brief description of it. Home to the highest chance for receiving potent blood. If you don't know what potent blood is, you might want to watch my video regarding the new seasonal mechanics. And packed armor. Again, watch that video for this information. So, home to the highest chance for receiving potent blood and packed armor drops is the Blood Harvest seasonal event. With a wave of his hand, the Dark Master has dispatched cunning bloodseekers with armies of vampires to conquest the dry steppes, Hawazar and Skozlen regions of Sanctuary, imprisoning its denizens and causing pandemonium. So only 3 of the 5 regions will have its areas affected by this blood harvest. So now let's quickly cover what might make this different from the Helltide. When it comes to Blood Harvest and Helltide differences, there are a few worth mentioning. I'll start with the first major noticeable difference, and it is that Helltides are once every second hour, so there is like an hour downtime in between them, while Blood Harvests will always be active in a certain area. Once a Blood Harvest ends, once an hour of Blood Harvest ends in one area, it will immediately move to another area the next hour. Blood Harvest afflicted area will rotate every hour. There will always be one such to participate into. Another difference is the couple of new materials exclusive to Blood Harvest events. The first such material is Blood Lures. You'll be using those to bait Blood Seekers to come to you. And you can fight those Blood Seekers and earn certain things from them. What are Blood Seekers? I mentioned that in my previous Diablo 4 video, the one with seasonal mechanics, but I'll mention it again. Blood Seekers are a new type of enemy, which are basically fallen heroes of all playable classes that will behave like the game's classes in a fight by using the same skill. When I say playable classes, I mean Druid, Necromancer, Sorcerer, Rogue, Barbarian. So it will be for example, fighting a Bloodseeker Druid will feel like fighting a Druid player, like using tornadoes, boulders, werebear, werewolf skills, and so on. So those are like fallen heroes who have been corrupted by the vampires and are now vampires themselves, or something like that. Keep in mind that there is no info if all classes skills will be used by Bloodseekers or how random it would be what skill combinations a Bloodseeker uses, but my guess is that it's safe to assume there will be one for each major archetype. For example, there most likely would be a werebear, werewolf, Storm, and Earth version of the Druid Blood Seeker to cover all those 4 major archetypes. Another Blood Harvest specific resource are Seeker Keys, which players will use to free imprisoned captives, open Seeker's caches, to receive packed armor, packed consumable, and potent blood, and apparently, I'm gonna quote here, other things out in the overworld. Ending the quote here. So apparently there will be other things to open, not just the Seeker Keys and freeing prisoners. One of the coolest things about those new resources is that they do not disappear at the end of a blood harvest cycle, and players can use them whenever they feel is the right time to do so in any future blood harvest cycle they wish to. So unlike the Helltides, you have those cinders, and the moment the Helltide stops, the cinders disappear. You would be able to keep your Seeker Keys and to keep your Bloodlures and carry them over and use them whenever you feel like it. Now, there's another interesting thing to be excited about, hopefully, and that's the new world events and new dungeon events. So there will also be new world events and dungeon events where you can go toe to toe with more blood seekers and other vampire foot soldiers as well. The Dark Master's army calls some of Sanctuary's dungeons home. Delve into their depths to see what secrets lie in wait. So they aren't giving us much information, but at least we know that there will be some new events, world events that would be similar to the usual orange circled events, but different, and not like the not like the one that rotates every 30 minutes, but one that just randomly spawning everywhere, not just in specific spots. Obviously there will be some specifics, but I hope we can find out more about those world events, what they would be like. And since there will be dungeon events as well, we know those where it's like defend the allies or do this or do that. So yeah, similar to season 1, I guess there will be some things out in the open world and in the dungeons that are season specific. So nothing that surprising here. And lastly, but still very important, is something called Hunter's Acclaim, which is some sort of reputation for that season that players can use, and the more you get, the higher you go in tiers for that reputation. So putting enemies to the sword during bounties, bursting blood blisters, completing world events, disrupting vampiric rituals, and freeing prisoners will earn you some reputation, or some Hunter's Acclaim as it's called. With Hunter's Acclaim, you climb tiers containing useful rewards, such as crafting materials, items, and even packed consumables. So definitely something to look forward to, some progress to kind of strive towards finishing. A goal to chase is what the Hunter's Acclaim is, and letting us unlock some things from there.
To get notified when I upload more content like this one or other builds and guides for Wooter and not so Wooter games, you can subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button to not miss out on notifications. As well as keep in mind there's something called memberships on YouTube, which lets you be a paying member for my channel to get access to perks such as emotes and badges made by me, as well as the option to get one-on-one tutoring for the very basics of Adobe Photoshop, Premiere and After Effects. And memberships can be cancelled at any time if you no longer wanna be a member. Thanks for watching all the way until the end, Struck Web. Keep it cool until next time, and goodbye.